Hey everyone, it's Patty from PS Paper Crafts, and I have this really fun birthday card with these birds. I use the bird Banter. This is in the New Occasions catalog, and it's really great. I got it actually as a prize patrol at the convention where they pick a number, and if it's your number, you get the stamp set. So there were over 2,700 people there, so it's pretty cool to get free stuff. But anyway, I thought this was really cute. It has some great sentiments. You're the kind of friend I'd share my branch with. I am using this, a little birdie told me it was your birthday. Obviously, it wasn't an early bird, so that's kind of for a belated birthday. Just a little toucan of my appreciation. Happy birthday. Still suspiciously young looking, I see. And then there's a thank you. So I thought it was really cute. So this is a card I made. We got the bird on the branch with the birthday hat. The birthday hat comes in it. And I did the little birdie told me it was your birthday. And then inside I just put a couple little birds. And obviously it wasn't an early bird. So I colored these in with the new stamping blends. You can buy them in sets of two. And there's a light and a dark, and they're alcohol markers, and they blend beautifully. I'm not a watercolor painter artist by any means, but these make it easy. So I have some of them. I didn't use them all, and I'll show you how I did that. Put that aside, and then I also used for this little strip of paper, there's a new 6x6 designer series paper. It's called Tutti-Frutti, and there's a whole suite that this comes with, and I just thought it was fun, the colors, just to show you. And it is double-sided, and it actually comes with the Tutti-Frutti. There's fruit stamps and fruit punches, and it's really cute. And I will be showing that on another video, but I thought this was just a fun colors. I like the lemon lime twist. It's just, you know, makes it cheery. So let's put these aside, and the first thing I'm going to do is my stamping, and I'm going to stamp in color. I have my piece of Whisper White cardstock, and when you use these markers, you should really have them on a piece of paper, because they do bleed through a little bit, and you don't want to get that on your work surface. So I have all my cards mounted, and the first thing I'm going to do is the branch. And you do want to use the Memento ink, the Tuxedo Black, because when you do color the alcohol, you don't want your ink from what you stamped to bleed into the color. So you really need to use this, and you need to do it on a sheet of paper. So I'm going to just do the stamp. I'll stamp everything, and then I'll color everything. And I'm just going to put this, I don't know, about here. And then I will stamp some of these extra little branches just to give it, where is it? Here. So I have that mounted as well. And we'll just, it's nice that these are the photopolymer, so you can really line it up well. And we'll do this one here. And that one didn't come out too good. Let me see, excuse my head. And try to go right over it. Well, I'm going to just flip it, and we're going to do it again. Sorry about that. Let's do the branch over. And actually, let me get my, with the photopolymer, I usually have a whole pad of grit paper. So I have something underneath it. When you're using the photopolymer, it's good to have something to, I don't know, absorb the pressure. It's got a little bit of give to it. You can use a catalog, a magazine, but doing it on a hard surface. The red rubber stamps are good on a hard surface, but when you're using the photopolymer, it's better to have a little bit of give there. So I'm going to do this again. And we'll do the branch again. Hopefully we'll do a better job of it. Okay, that looks good. And we'll do this one. All right. So then we're going to do the bird. So I already did this bird, and I cut it out. I just fussy cut it. I kind of wish there were framelits to go with this, but they don't always have framelits, and fussy cutting is not that bad. So I cut out the hats and the bird so you don't have to sit here and watch me. So I'm going to actually just have him sitting on the branch. Okay, and then we can do our coloring. Actually, let me do the inside. We'll get everything stamped, and then I will do the sentiments and the inside of the card as well. So let me do this sentiment. A little birdie told me it was your birthday, and I have that mounted already. And I am going to do the edge with a kind of a flag, so I'm going to just put it right here, and then I can cut it down if I need to. And this is a 3/4, I think it's by like 3.5, but I'm going to cut it down. And then the Tutti Frutti DSP is 1 inch by 4. That's going to go here, just so you know the measurements. So we've got those done, and now let's do the inside. And that's the let me put the sentiment on. Obviously it was an early bird. I'm going to put it up here, and then we'll put our 2 little, I think they might be parakeets, I don't know, and they give you 2 stamps so you can have, you know, them facing each other, which is nice. So we got that one, and then we'll get this one. All right, so we have our stamping done. I'm going to get rid of this and put this up here, and then we can start our coloring. So let me pull this back down and put this up there. Just maneuver things around. Let's close this up so we don't have any little accidents that we have to correct. Move our stamps over. So I'm going to start with the branches, and it's Old Olive, and again you get 2, a light and a dark, and I think I just did the light. And there's these caps are very hard to take off because you really want them to snap in and close and keep that alcohol dry. Sorry, wet. You want it closed. And there's a brush with a fat line, and then the more of the nib with the skinny line. So I'm going to use the nib end of it and just do these leaves. They're kind of small, so I'm really not going to do any shading. The idea with the light and the dark is that you can shade, and it really blends nice. You don't get the lines from using a marker. You know how you can get lines that just show like you're coloring. This is just so smooth, and I'm just going to go in and do these little leaves. I mean, you could put in a darker line and let it blend in, but I think this is just fine. And we'll just do this. And then I was just trying to get some bright colors for these birds. I think they're really adorable. They have some really nice stamps in the Occasions catalog, and that comes out January 3rd. If you're interested in getting a copy of one, I just message me and leave a comment in my blog or on YouTube, and I'll send you an Occasions catalog, and it's also Celebration starting January 3rd. So for every $50 you spend, you get a free stamp set, so it's really nice. And this year they actually have $100 items, a little bit nicer items. So if you wanted to spend $100, you can get one of those items, or 2 $50 items. There's a lot of options there. So I'm rambling on here. I am going to use the pool party, and this time I am going to do a little shading on the body. So when you do your shading, you're going to use a lighter color first, and I usually try to just get the whole image colored with the lighter color, and then you add your shading, and then with the darker color, and then you go back and blend it with the lighter color. A lot of people say you should use the thick cardstock. This is just regular cardstock, regular Whisper White. I think it works good. If you were going to do a lot of layering, I would be more concerned about it and use the thicker. It works fine on the thicker, but I kind of like the thin Whisper White better. So I'm just going to go where there's some markings and just shade. Just put a little darker here, and then we'll come back and blend it. And I'm actually going to do a little bit here on his belly and around the wing and kind of up here. Now, people know where to shade with the light and all that good stuff. I don't know that stuff, so I like to go by the lines that are already added. And it just gives it, you know, a little more, I guess, of a natural look if the light were coming in and you had a little bit of a shadow. So I don't know if you can see that, but it just really blends in nice, and it just gives it a little bit more definition. And then I will be using the pumpkin pie. So here's the dark and here's the light. And I'm going to do the dark, and again I'm going to use this nib end on the tail wings, and I'm just going to color in a little bit. Now, if you go outside of the lines, or if you wanted to lighten something, there is a color lifter you can get as well. It's really works pretty well on the light colors if you go out of the lines, but the dark colors, it's not so good. It will lighten it, but it won't completely take it out. But certain colors are easier to work with, and that is this one. So you would just, I mean, you could lighten an area if you wanted to, just by, it just kind of lifts the color. I don't know if you can see that, but it does make it a little bit lighter. So if you wanted to have, you know, like a balloon or something like that, and you wanted a lighter spot on it, I'm just going to go over this again. If you know what I mean, it will allow you to do that. And we're going to do the light pumpkin pie for the other part of the beak. And I'm going to use the brush on this. So I kind of go back and forth depending on the size of the area, whether I use the brush end or the other end. And see, I did go out a little bit here. So let me show you with the color lifter. And you can go over this a few times. You kind of have to let it dry, but it does pick it up. And you could try it on the darker colors. I'm not saying it doesn't work at all, but I didn't have as much luck with that. And then on his face, I'm just going to use the Daffodil Delight. And this is the light one. And let me just put this on. I would really make sure you keep the caps on because it will dry out. I'm just going to kind of go around here and do this little part as well. And then I'll go back with this and blend that. Sometimes I feel like my eyes look like that. He looks like he's got bags under his eyes. So he's done. And as I said, I've already cut out the hats. I fussy cut them, and this other bird. So this one is in Rich Razzleberry and Pool Party, and then we've got the Daffodil Delight and Pumpkin Pie. And when I cut him out, I cut him close to the black, and then I just had his feet. His feet are going to go right on the white there. And I didn't get the black 100%. You know, there's still some white around it. So what I do is I just take my black marker, just kind of go around the rim, just to take out any white that was left there. I'm not a big fussy cutter, but this really was easy to do. Some people just love to fussy cut. And by fussy cutting, I mean you're just cutting the image out of the paper, if you're not familiar. And the key is that you move the paper, not the scissors. So when you're cutting, you're going to kind of hold the paper and move the paper and hold the scissors. So that's that tip. And then I've got the hats. And let's do the inside. Now, I wanted to do the inside bird in... I wanted them to look, I think, like parakeets. I'm not sure if that's what they are. And I wanted the lemon lime twist, which does not come in the blends. So I just use a lemon lime twist marker. So let me color them in. And I'm going to use the brush on this one. And then I use the blends for the other parts of it, and I just colored them in like I always would have with a marker. Pretty easy. I just like this with the green, the lemon lime twist with the card base, and it just looks like that's what color these birds should be. You guys who have birds, you can correct me if I'm wrong here. And then we're going to do the light of the Daffodil Delight for the belly. Just color that in, and see, you don't see any lines. It just is so smooth, and that's what I really like about it. Do this guy's belly. And then, you know, once we're done with this, we just put everything together. Pretty simple card. I'm going to use the, I think I used the light pumpkin pie. Let's see how that one looks. Yeah. On this. His tail feathers. And I think I used it on this little part. It's reminding me of the turkey thing. And then I used the darker on his beak. And this again is the pumpkin pie. And you do have a lot of control when you use that nib side, so that's good. Okay, stamping is done, coloring is done. Now we can put things together. So here's my card base. It's lemon lime twist, half of a sheet of an 8.5 by 11. So I just cut it across. So this is 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. Okay, and we're going to take our layer with the bird, and we'll adhere this down here. First, I want to just give this the little flag or tail or whatever you want to call it. And I use this triple banner punch, and it takes, you know, different size banners in it. If you don't fit in, you know, this is too small for it, you could just feed it through the back. You just feed it up and try to get it even, and it will give you a nice fishtail. Or you can cut it by hand. So there you go. And let's just put this down. I think I want these facing down, these strips, and I just want to make sure that the bird's gonna fit on it well before I place it. So I'm going to put this down just with some snail. Oops. Even this side of the paper is pretty. Got some black stuff on there. Okay, and we'll just put it right here. Okay, and I did the same thing with this. I just put it down with snail. And I think I might cut the edge of that off. I don't want too much white on. Where did I put my scissors? Here they are. So I'm just going to snip this down a little bit. You could cut it on your paper trimmer, but I'm just winging it here. And you could pop it up if you want. I did pop up the bird with dimensionals. So we're going to put this on. I'm loving this new occasions catalog. Again, if you want a copy of it, just let me know and I will send you a copy in the mail, and with the celebration. And that's really a great time to shop because you can get some good bargains. Not good bargains, but you can get some freebies. So I think that's really great. So see how that bled through a little bit, and it's, you know, it just is the way it is. You wouldn't want to have it on your inside of your card, but I'm just adding this here. And this will be layered, so you're not going to see this on that anyway. So let's see, I need some dimensionals. I'll put, so these are the mini dimensionals. So I'm going to put one up here by his beak, by his feet. And we'll put a couple here in the middle. I love the mini dimensionals. It really makes it easy to add some smaller items or smaller areas. So here we go. Get all the release paper off. And then we can lay him right here. Isn't he cute? I love him. And then I put the red hat on here and the lemon lime twist hat here. And for this one, I put a little bit of a dimensional on the pom-pom. And it just barely fit. You could even cut a dimensional if you wanted. Just gets right in that area. And then I put a little bit of snail down here. And the reason I did that was I wanted it to lay flat on his head, but I wanted it to pop up because his body is popped up. Hope that makes sense. I want it to sit on his head, but I want it to be popped up as well. So there you go. So see, it's popped up like the bird. And then this guy I just put on with snail because I wanted it flat. So let's see. Whoops, come on. Sometimes it's hard to put little things, snail on little things. So there you go. This is more upright. So we have those, and let's put the inside in the card. And then I wanted to show you about these cool sequins that are in the catalog. They are self-adhering, so you have sticky on the back of them, and they're really, really cool. So we're going to put this on the inside. Just get that all lined up. And then we'll put this down on the outside, and then we'll put the sequins on it. So I'm just going to put snail all the way around this one. And lay this on the front. Get it nice and centered. And I try to center the top two corners, and you know, just doing this over time, you get a feel for how much border, because I always use the same, or mostly always use the same layer size. So these are the sequins, and they're called Tutti Frutti adhesive back sequins, and they come in different colors. There's a kind of an orangey, let me take them out. And I made a bunch of these cards for a swap, so I used a lot of the green. So you've got this orange, this looks like berry burst, and some kind of a yellow and a very light blue, maybe a pool party. So these are really pretty. And then here's the green. This is the lemon lime twist, and I really see how many I've used already. So I just placed them here and there. No rhyme or reason to this, so I'm just going to pick it up. It's got adhesive on it. I'll put one here. See? It's great. You don't have to glue it. It's just perfect. And put one here. And then the last one. So there you have it. Put that away. So these are the two cards. I think they're really fun and cute. And it's always nice to have like a belated birthday card. I don't know if you get yours out on time, but I don't always do that. So let me know if you like this by giving me a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you have any questions. Let me know if you want the occasions catalog. I did mail out the ones to people I have addresses for who have placed orders in the past. But if you have not and you want one, just let me know and I'll send you the occasions and the celebration. It's a great time of year to get some free product. So thanks a lot, and you have a good day. Bye.